Oh, come on, it's just perfect. It's perfect. That's right, Miss Girthy. It's a thick boy. What do you think of that? Yeah, that's right. My God, it's so big. Yes. Which one? Yep, same stuff, polished. Yep, I did run out of torches, however, and I may or may not have uh, really screwed up down in the mines. Well, I made some cool shit. Uh, well, I found 2 diamonds and a ton of stuff, and I had enchanted gold armor on and a really enchanted pickaxe. It was an iron one. I enchanted it. And it had mending and everything on it. Anyways, long story short, um, some lava came out, and uh, and then it's all gone. So I think I'm not pleased about it. I legitimately lost interest in life and in mining in general. Actually, at that very moment, I was just like, no, this ain't for me. Yes, yes, I have been. Get your heckin' llamas out of the way, bro. They are, but they're in my way. Not catching fish anymore. I'm catching everything else. Fuck fish. The magical fish. Have we discovered what we're going to use that shit for yet? The puffer fish. So, I left work on Saturday and I went straight to the old DigiWorld and ended up getting some sick ass stuff for the stream. I don't know if you've been on since then. I've got shiny flashing lights. I got a high def camera. It is sweet. Pretty much professional without without the viewers. That's right. God, this sounds like my ex. Oh yes, this is so good. Well, are they the front ones or the back ones? Yeah. Nope. What that probably is they replaced the pads by chance? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's a good thing. You don't want to have to crank it all the way up. mm. Well, you shouldn't ever have to take off a brake caliper test in order to see a rotor. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Yeah, that's very understandable because it shouldn't. But I was thinking if they had changed the brake pads on the calipers, sometimes if the calipers aren't used to going as far back, because as they shrink, the piston comes out further and further and stays there. When you put new pads on, the piston has to go back into the caliper in order to facilitate the new thickness of the pads, right? Sometimes what ends up happening is they'll come out and they'll get stuck, and yeah, yeah. Well, usually what you do is when you replace the pads, you should polish the rotors and the sliders. They should come with new tin sliders with grease on them, and may or may not be their fault. But if they did not replace the pads, there's absolutely no reason that I can possibly think of as a licensed mechanic that they would ever have an issue like that occur because they shouldn't have touched it. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I bet you I know why. They replaced the control arm, didn't they? Yep. They would have had to take the caliper off in order to do that. Mm, that's that's a real. No, well, I mean, the way it is that your control arm it's essentially the A-frame. There's 2 points that bolt to the car, and then there's the one point with the ball joint that bolts onto the spindle. where your rotor and caliper and all that nonsense is. So in order to take that off, sometimes they do need to take the caliper off and the rotor and everything like that. So depending on if that one came with a... Yeah, in order to get the ball joint off, it'd be easier to take it off. Maybe. I would have to see the geometry of that car. Yep. So what they could have done is they could have pried it open too far and screwed the piston up, and then when it came back out, because it's going to, because you pushing on the pedal exerts quite a bit of force on it, it came out and it didn't go back in. You may, yeah, if it's the brake pads on the sliders getting stuck, then yes, you could take them off, clean it up, but I mean, any reputable shop would have done that if they played with the pads. If mhm. Yes. Jeez, chill out. Well, they pretty much rebuilt that goddamn car for you. So I can't imagine. Worst case scenario, you're gonna need new calipers. It depends. If I could see your car before you took it there, I could give you a legitimate leg to stand on because I am licensed. But he may tell you some wishy-wash nonsense because most mechanic shops tend to do that for some godforsaken reason, and you'll just end up paying to get the two calipers, and they may put them on for you. I don't know. It really depends on the car, but I can't foresee them being more than $60 a piece for that thing. What? Did they get them from the dealership? That's exactly what they did, man. Yeah, they... just the wiper blades themselves, or the whole arm? Yeah, I want to see this. Kobe. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep, bro. Mm-hmm. They did that without you. Yep. Did they put all this stuff on without you telling them to? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the drum brakes on the back though. That would be directly related to probably your park brake as well. It's nothing worse. Well, um, maybe, man. It's really hard to tell. Like, I'm just trying to think on that. Oh, because it's been ages since I've done one. When um, you do a control arm, you should be able to leave it because the upper control arm. Did they do upper and lower control arms, or just the lower control arms? Oh, oh, so they didn't do the control arms. Well, that's also a possibility. So, stabilizer control kit would be it's your sway bar links, I think is what they're trying to say there, and they are pricey because when I worked at the Ford dealership when I got out of the army, um, the the Ford Focuses were really bad for it. Yeah, that's about on par.